Thank you for watching the after show. We just watched the top 12 with our British invasion theme. Our guest today, we have Brandy, who won the competition last year, and Jonathan Estes, who is our lighting director, which means he sits up top and pushes the lever up and down. Good job, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Guys, I think tonight's show was really good. Overall, Brandy, what did you think of the performances?
I thought everyone did pretty good. I think some people let their nerves get the best of them. I think some people played it safe, but I thought everyone did well, and even when they had mess-ups, they persevered, so.
I had a great time. I was sitting about 2 people over from Dr. Smoke's wife, and Dr. Smoke was a guest judge, and they just brought it. They are hilarious. Cameron, who is directing, I don't know why he didn't get any of their sense of humor, but they're really funny. So it was a lot of fun. Jonathan, what did you think?
I thought that everybody did really well. There was a lot of nerves that were shown. I thought people should move around stage a little more. Everybody was playing it safe behind the mic stand or standing still in one spot, but that's why we have lights, so they can move around the stage.
Exactly. I think compared to last year's top 12, last year we had 3 like powerhouse voices, including yours. I don't know that we have as many powerhouse voices this year, but I think as a whole, the talent is a lot better. Would you agree or disagree with
I
that?
agree. It's a lot more fun to listen because it's like, oh wow, this person's great, but then you see the lineup and it's like, oh, they're going to be great too. So it made everything a lot more enjoyable, I feel like.
Let's talk about breakout performance. Actually, first, let's talk about the people that are returning. Ashley Dixon is back. Obviously, Sarah Johansson is back, and Tim Smith. My worry for them is that they didn't take time off, and I have a note especially here for you.
Really?
Because you did the last season of Cumberland Idol, and then you did not do the first season of Spotlight and did the second season.
Right.
Do you think that had you have done it back to back, that maybe the audience would have kind of tired?
I did. I'm going to use Darcy Muscati as my example. She did it, I think, all 4 years that she was here. And I think Darcy is great. I thought she had a great voice. She always performed well. She always had the crowd involved. But every year it was kind of like, Darcy's doing it again. And it was like, no one got excited to hear her again because it was, she did it repeatedly. And I was like, Darcy, are you going to do it? Your senior year? She's like, no, I don't think so. And so I think that she kind of maybe had felt the same way. And so I took a year off just hoping that everyone would come back, everything would be refreshed, and maybe I would be a little bit better.
And you got the $1,000. Let's talk about Sarah Johansson. I feel like everybody's watching her because she's the only returning contestant to place. And I think that if it's a little unfair that we put her on this pedestal, but that's kind of how it works. And I think that if she wants to place this year, it's all going to be about song choice for her. Jonathan, what do you think?
I'm a big country song fan.
Why don't you show everybody the notes that you... I think you thought we were going to have a test.
Gotta be prepared. But I'm a big country fan, but I would also like to hear in a singing competition different variety instead of the same thing over and over, which she can put her own twist on it, but still she tries to go back to that country base, and it does get a little old sometimes, especially with it being her second year doing it.
An example from last year when she did Wrecking Ball. That's the kind of stuff that I think she needs to pull from. How easy or hard is it to come up with a song choice? Because they only had a week this time, and usually you get 2 to 3 weeks. What is the process?
Texting your mom, texting all your friends, saying, gosh, what do I sing? What was put out in 2000? What's British Invasion? For me, my first step was calling my mom. What do you think I should sing? She would tell me something, I would say, what? No. And I'd call my best friends, and they would give me advice. So I would listen to them at the end of the day. I picked what I was comfortable with. But it is tough, and I can relate to Sarah Jo because I've always sang country. I grew up singing in a country show band. I'm from the middle of the woods, it is what it is. We have that twang in our voice. We can't help it. And even sometimes when you do sing R&B or hip-hop or a rock song, you're going to hear that no matter what. And I think she just has to embrace it. Even when she sang Wrecking Ball, it definitely wasn't Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
There was definitely that country twist to it.
So let's talk about, we talked about the returning people. Who were the breakouts tonight? Jonathan, who do you think we should be watching?
Chantel.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
thought she killed it.
Yeah, she was awesome. I came in at the end of it. Actually, I probably should have prefaced this by saying I watched half of the show online, which is great.
It's not the same, is it?
It's not the same.
Not the
I
same.
came in halfway through. I listened half of it on live stream, and I was kind of like, yeah, she sounds good. I couldn't tell if she was, being pitchy or not. And I walked in, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
I think a lot of people stood up for her, which does not happen
Oh, yeah.
on Spotlight. We can't even get people to be quiet.
No
so
one
when
even
people are
stood
standing
up for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. Who else, Brandy, that you noticed that could go really far?
I really like Kathleen. I love Kathleen. I think she started off rough. I completely understand. It happens. I remember last year I sang Fallen by Alicia Keys, and I couldn't hear the music the whole beginning of it. I don't even know what I was doing.
Yeah.
It happens. It throws you off. It messes you up. But I think that, she stood on stage. She kept singing. She got off key. She kept singing it. And I think she did great. Last week, she did amazing. So I think her. And then Jimmy, to me, last week I was kind of unsure of him. And then this week, maybe it's just because I love the song Come Together, but I think he did great. He has a very unique voice, not in a traditional sense, but in a more rocky, raspy voice. So.
And Jonathan, you had talked, as far as the first 6, you would have given that to Jimmy, right?
Yeah, with the first 6, I would have given it to Jimmy. And then during his performance, I don't know if he broke his pick or if he dropped it or something, but he played it off really well and just kept playing. I thought that was pretty cool.
What did you guys think about Ben Call? I think that he is funny, which is going to help him with the audience vote. He's a freshman, so if he does this, unless your theory about not taking a break hinders him, then at some point we will be giving Ben Call $1,000. It may not be this year, but I predict that at some point we're giving him $1,000. What did you guys think of his performance, Brandy?
I really like him. I think he's a little cutie. I think that he'll have all the girls' votes. And it happens. Dalton, Jake, we know that the girls are the voters, not the guys. So I think that, he'll be pulling a lot of votes from all the ladies. I think that he has an excellent voice. And I really did like his rendition tonight. And I love Coldplay, so I'm excited to see what he has in store for us.
Were there any disappointments from that did not do as well as we thought they were going to do when we saw them in duets, Jonathan?
It's really tough to say. I thought Junior's performance when he started out singing was a little slow. Once he hit the rap part of that song, he did really good, and then he carried on from there. But that one was a little iffy for me, but I think he'll get that under control and keep going with it.
The judges, I think it was Jordan Gunther, said that she wished she'd moved around a little more, and I think that was probably really good advice. Brandy, who would have been your weakest performance?
I'm probably going to say Junior or probably Junior. I don't relate to rap music. It's just, it's
I
not
have that
me.
same problem.
And just like Ashley, I think she does a great job. Her, like Dr. Dickman always says, she's very clear. You can understand everything she says.
And always very passionate.
Yes, very passionate. Dances a lot. Always, gets the crowd involved. It's just, to me, that's not what I'm listening for. And to someone else, great. But in my opinion, it wasn't something that I loved.
Who do you think is more than likely not going to make it past the top 12? And I think that's a really hard question because at this point, I have no idea. Because we thought Junior, or at least I shouldn't say we, you guys thought that Junior, I'm not going to put myself out there, you guys thought Junior had a weak performance, but he responded very well with the crowd. And he's really likable. It's always hard to say a likable person did not have the best performance. It didn't mean it was awful, but it just wasn't compared to everybody else's. Do you think he'll go home?
I think the thing about shows in general, American Idol, The Voice, it's about votes. It's about likability. It's about your performance, sometimes more than, your vocal ability. And I think that he relates to the audience. He has a lot of friends. He has a lot of crowd involvement. He's friendly. He's nice. I really like him a lot. I've had classes with him. He's awesome. So I don't know.
let me ask you this. How do you get, it's easy to get the online vote. You can do that yourself if you have a lot of free time. Just click, 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 click. But how do you get the audience vote? I think that's probably the hardest part of the vote to get, isn't it?
Yes. My freshman year, I didn't know anybody. I kind of stuck to myself. I'm a very social person, but I was just very intimidated. I didn't know anyone, and it was hard to market myself. Convincing your friends to come is great. But, you know, like Sarah Jo has it easy. She lives here, so all of her family can come. My family never did. So it was tough the first couple of years, but I think that as you get older, it makes it a lot easier because you make a lot more friends. People come and they get to know you, and you just have to hope for the best.
Last question for you both. If you had to walk away right now and pick a winner of this whole thing, last year your name came up most of the time. So now I'm going to ask you, if you had to pick a winner, who do you think it's going to be? Jonathan?
Off tonight's performance, I would have to pick Chantel. If she keeps going the way she is, the way the performance was tonight, she killed it, and that's who I would think is in first right now with everything going on.
I think you're right. Brandy?
I vote Chantel. I love Sarah Jo. I love her voice. I think she's super sweet. She has the talent. She just needs to bring it.
Yeah. Any dark horses? I guess I lied. That was my last question. I think that Kristen Rottenberger could, if she works through her nerves, I think she could be good. And I think that Lauren Weaver has an incredibly unique voice. And I think Nerves, in the middle of her song, Nerves just kind of got the best of her. And I hope she gets that under control because I love the sound of her voice.
I agree.
Dark horses, I really do like Trey and Trey's voice. And I know he can play instruments very well. And not a lot, like we haven't mentioned him really this whole show. And you don't really hear people talk about him when people bring up Spotlight. But I think he's one to really watch.
All right, I guess we'll see. Thank you, guys. We will see you at the end of February when we do our Opposites Night. Can't wait to see that. And plus, 2 people will be voted off. So we'll see how that all plays out. Thank you for watching the After Show.